Hello and good morning to you. It looks like the microphone's working and everything's working on the recording. I am Dr. Bill Bledsoe. I bring to you each morning. I invite you to join me each morning with prayers. I do them every day because they have meant a world of difference in my life. With peace and happiness and calm, and my walk with God is just incredible what it does for my life. And so we'll begin it. I am in Chesney, South Carolina, and Sacred Heart Yoga is an ancient form of medicine, and an ancient form of prayer. I begin it each morning by thanking God. I thank you for this ancient method of prayer brought to us through the generations, from the house of Abraham, the house of David, from Jesus, his mother Mary, Father Joseph, Mary Magdalene, and from Virginia Ellen, who wrote the book, Sacred Heart Yoga, so that anybody in the world at any time can practice this ancient method of prayer. Now, if you'll repeat after me, we'll begin with the Sacred Heart Yoga prayer. Beloved, I devote this practice this day to the evolution of my soul, to the fulfillment of my destiny, in service to the One, and I allow myself to be purified as I rejoice in the kingdom of heaven and the love of God. And I give thanks for these blessings, these moments that I share with my body and my spirit in oneness with God. And so it is. Amen. Now we're going to clear our energy fields. We do this right hand up to the 12 o'clock position, moving it over to the 3 o'clock position, our right knee, left knee, back up to the 9 o'clock position, and then back up to the 12 o'clock position. And as we do this movement, repeat after me. I clear my energy field of anyone or anything standing within. I bless them and I send them to the light. Om. Now we're going to ask God, how may I serve you this day? And the answer always comes to me in just one or two words. We take our right hands over our hearts. And here our prayers begin with, God, how may I serve you this day? Om. Now we're going to stand and announce out loud. All prayers should be done out loud. And we do this by putting our hands forward, standing up straight and tall, and we announce what words came to us as, God, my intention to serve you this day is to Om. Now we sit back down and then lay down on our backs. We pull our right knee up to our chest, and here our prayers begin with, Father, I love you for, and Father, I thank you for. Om. Now we hold our right foot in our left hand and pull it over to our left thigh and let our right knee fall out down to the mat. And as we do this, our right arm goes straight up above our head, stretched out and stretched down to the mat. And here our prayers begin with, Father, I love you. Father, I thank you. Om. Now we hold our right foot in our right hand and pull it down to our pelvis, switching arms. Our left arm this time goes above our heads. And here our prayers begin with, Father, I love you. Father, I thank you. Om. Now we take our right foot up towards the heavens. Our left arm still extended above our heads, stretched down to the mat. And here our prayers begin with, Father, I love you. Father, I thank you. Om. Now we let our arms fall straight out to the sides, extended out from our shoulders, palms up towards the heavens and down to the mat on our backs. And our right leg goes up to the heavens and falls out to the right side of our bodies, opening our pelvis wide as we can. And here our prayers begin with, Father, I love you. Father, I thank you. Om. Now we turn our heads to the right and we take our right leg and we cross it over our bodies to the left side and trying to get it down to the mat on the left side of our bodies. Our shoulders stay down flat on the mat, our arms extended, palms out, and here our prayers begin with, Father, I love you. Father, I thank you. Om. Now we go back to resting position, our legs outstretched, arms at our sides, and we pull our left knee up to our chest and hold it there with our arms. And here our prayers begin with, Mother, I love you for, and Mother, I thank you for. Om. Now we take our left foot in our right hand and pull it over to our right thigh, letting our left knee fall down to the mat. This time our left arm gets stretched out above our heads, straight and down to the mat. And here our prayers begin with, Mother, I love you. Mother, I thank you. Om. Now we switch hands. We take our left foot in our left hand, pulling it down to our pelvis. And this time our right arm goes above our heads, stretched out down to the mat. And here our prayers begin with, Mother, I love you. Mother, I thank you. Om. Now we point our left foot up towards the heavens, holding our right arm still stretched out above our heads and down to the mat. And here our prayers begin with, Mother, I love you. Mother, I thank you. Om. Now we let our arms fall straight out from our shoulders, again extended straight out and down to the mat, palms up. And our left foot goes up to the heavens and falls out to the left side of our bodies, extending our pelvis out as far as we can. And here our prayers begin with, Mother, I love you. Mother, I thank you. Now we turn our heads to the left, and we pull our left foot across our bodies over to the right side of our bodies, stretching our backs, keeping our shoulders flat down on the mat. And here our prayers begin with, Mother, I love you. Mother, I thank you. Om. Now we go back to resting position, arms at our sides, our feet outstretched. And this time we pull both knees up to our chest and hold them there, stretching our backs. And here our prayers begin with, God, I love you. God, I thank you. Om. Now we hold our right foot in our right hand and pull it to our pelvis, and our left foot in our left hand down to our pelvis, the soles of our feet together, our knees out. And here our prayers begin with, God, I love you. God, I thank you. Om. Now we pull our feet apart, down near our pelvis, keeping them down there, stretching our pelvic muscles or ligaments. And here our prayers begin with, God, I love you. God, I thank you. Om. Now we take our feet up to the heavens. And here our prayers begin with, God, I love you. God, I thank you. Om. Now we let our feet fall down to the mat near our pelvis, and our arms get extended out, straight out from our shoulders again, but this time palms down on the mat. And here we take our heads and we turn them to the left, our knees go to the right. And our prayers begin with, God, I love you. God, I thank you. Om. Now we turn our knees to the left, our heads go to the right. And here our prayers begin, keeping our shoulders down on the mat. Here our prayers begin with, God, I love you. God, I thank you. Om. Now we go back to resting position, legs outstretched, arms at our sides. And this next position is the surrender position, where we can surrender anything to God that disturbs us, our fears, our worries, our addictions, anything. And we do this by putting our hands under our sit bones, leaning forward on our elbows, taking the tops of our heads down to the mat. And here our prayers begin with, God, I surrender to you. Om. Now we go back to resting position, and our left arm goes straight up to the heavens. And it falls over to the right side of our body, stretching our left shoulder, and we take our right hand halfway between our left elbow and left shoulder, stretching it farther. And here our prayers begin with, God, I choose to. Om. Now we take our right arm straight up in the air and let it fall over to the left side of our body, stretching our right shoulder. And we take our left hand halfway between our right elbow and right shoulder, stretching it farther. And here our prayers begin with, God, I can. Om. Now we go back to resting position, legs outstretched, arms at our sides, and we pull our feet up to our pelvis down on the mat. Put the soles of our feet together and let our knees fall out to the sides. And we're forming a tabernacle below our bodies, a house of God. And we take our hands over our hearts in prayer position, lifting them up 2/3 of the way to the heavens. And here we find this incredible, God's incredible chalice. And it's filled with anything that we could ever desire or want while we're being in the service to God. And so here we can drink from the chalice anything that we want, and our prayers begin with, God, I drink from your chalice, your gifts of. Now Now we take our hands, still in prayer position, up over our heads, reaching, stretching down to the mat. And we let our elbows fall out to the sides. This forms a tabernacle over our entire bodies. And here our prayers begin with, God, I truly thank you for my body, my mind, my spirit, and my soul. Now we're going to start the anointing series, and this is, we keep our hands in prayer position throughout the 3 sets of anointings. And this is, we put our thumbs up to our foreheads. And our prayers begin with, God, I anoint your gifts of all. Now we take our thumbs down to our lips. And here our prayers begin with, God, I bless these gifts of, and I dedicate them only in service to you, to the one, to the oneness. Now we take our hands over our hearts in prayer position. And here our prayers begin with, God, I thank you for these gifts of all. Now we do a motion where we point our fingers down to our abdomens and our pelvis, extending our arms out to the 3 o'clock position over our pelvis and back up to the 12 o'clock position over our heads. And as we do this movement, pointing our fingers into our abdomens, our prayers begin with, God, I fill my body, my mind, my spirit, and my soul with your gifts of all. Now we take our thumbs back to our foreheads and begin with the second out of 3 in the anointing series. Here our prayers begin with, God, I anoint your gifts of all. Now we take our thumbs down to our lips. And here our prayers begin with, God, I bless your gifts of, and I dedicate them only in service to you. Om. Now we take our hands down over our hearts in prayer position, and our prayers begin with, God, I truly thank you for your gifts of Om. Now we take our fingers and point them down towards our abdomens, extending our arms out to the 3 o'clock and 12 o'clock positions. And as we do this motion, our prayers begin with, God, I fill my body, my mind, my spirit, and my soul with your gifts of Om. Now we do the third and final in the anointing series. And here our prayers, we take our thumbs to our foreheads, and here our prayers begin with, God, I anoint Om. Now we take our thumbs down to our lips, and our prayers begin with, God, I bless, and I dedicate this in service only to you. Om. Now we take our hands still in prayer position down over our hearts, and our prayers begin with, God, I truly thank you for Om. Now we do the motion where we point our fingers into our abdomens and extend them out to our pelvis, the 3 o'clock position, 12 o'clock positions. And as we do this motion, our prayers begin with, God, I fill my body, my mind, my spirit, and my soul with your gifts of Om. Now we go back to resting position, arms at our sides, our feet outstretched, and we take our right ankle over our left ankle. And we cross our right wrist over our left wrist, over our hearts. And here our prayers begin with, God, I truly thank you for your protection, your safety. Now we go back to resting position and roll over on our sides and push ourselves back up into sitting position with our arms and hands. And we take our right leg straight out in front of us. We pull our left foot over our right knee, and we hold our left knee with our right arm. We take our right arm behind our backs for support, and we twist our head and our shoulders to the left. Here our prayers begin with, desire I am, desire I am, desire I am. I desire. Now we switch legs. Our left leg goes straight out in front of us. Our right foot comes across our left knee. We hold our right knee with our left arm, and our right arm goes behind our backs for support. And we twist our head and shoulders to the right this time, stretching our backs. And here our prayers begin with, will I am, will I am, will I am. I will. Now we get up on our knees. Holding our hands in prayer position over our hearts. And here our prayers begin with, God, I truly thank you for all. Now we go back to sitting position. This time our right leg is extended out to the right side. Our left foot comes to the inside of our right thigh. And here our prayers begin with, God, I am. All. Now we take our left leg out to the left side, and our right foot comes up to the inside of our left thigh. And here our prayers begin with, God, I am. Om. Now we go back to sitting position, sitting straight and tall. Our palms are on our knees, straight up, and we touch our thumbs to our middle two index fingers. And keeping our back straight, we bow forward at our pelvis. And our prayers begin with, I bow to my body, my mind, my spirit, and my soul. Om. Now sitting back up straight and tall, we bow a second time. As we bow forward, our prayers begin with, God, I bow to you, to the Father, to the Mother, to the divinity within, to the one, to the oneness. Om. Now we sit back up straight and tall, and we feel where we're grounded on our pelvis, our left side and right side down on the mat. And on the left side where we're grounded, we feel the white light of the mother, her love, her nurturing, her creation of new cells within our bodies, her creation of new life forms all around us on the earth. And here we feel that light, that white light, fill our legs. It fills every cell in our legs, every cell in our abdomens. The white light comes up to our hearts, filling every cell in our hearts, and it bursting out like a beacon to the world. And the white light comes up to our lungs, our throats, and into our heads, filling our minds with God's love, God's peace, God's love for all of life's creations. And then the wonderful white light goes out the tops of our heads up into the heavens and showers down around us, on the earth around us. And then we feel on the right side of our pelvis, wonderful blue light of the Father, His wisdom, His knowing, His truth filling every cell in our legs, this blue light filling our legs, His truth filling our abdomens, our hearts with this blue light, and our hearts acting like a beacon with the blue light shining out to the world. And the blue light comes up through our throats into our heads, filling us with what we need to know this day, and filling our brains, our minds. And it comes out the tops of our heads up into the sky. And it showers down upon the whole earth for anybody that wants it. And now we step up into the light above our heads. And here we find peace and God's wisdom, and we ask just one question. We can stay as long as we want in the kingdom of light. And we ask just one question. God, what do I need to know this day?